Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Exchange SA chat. We're so glad all of you are here. And tonight we are here with the Student Assembly President, Kayla. Oh man, I was going to get your last name right, and I forgot it again. Pronounce your last name for us, Kayla.
Keckeisen.
Keckeisen, that's right.
There you go.
We are here with Kayla Keckeisen, and we are here to talk about student involvement and how first years, second years, third years, DPT students, PTA students, how we can all get involved. There's a lot of different avenues, and so we are excited to be here with Kayla. So we've got a Twitter chat going on Twitter. Use the hashtag XChangeSA on Twitter with your questions, and we will be sure to try to answer as many as we possibly can tonight. So without further ado, Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Kayla Keckeisen. I'm a second-year PT student at Lockhurst University in Kansas City, Missouri, even though I live in Kansas City, Kansas. I'm originally from California, but my husband and I live out here now with our dog, Axel. He's a little chocolate lab. What else do you want to know?
Let's hear about how you initially got involved with the APTA. Why did you get involved?
I actually became an APTA member as soon as I got my acceptance into PT school. I was really excited to learn more about our professional organization and network with people as soon as I could. But it really didn't sink in with me until I got to school. And all of our professors are involved. And I went to my first Kansas Physical Therapy Association meeting and got to meet students and professionals and network like crazy. And I've been to 3 meetings now. You see the same people over and over, and it's incredible how small the PT world is. So I got involved from my professors and just continued, went to my first NSC this year, and I'm hooked.
Wonderful. So it sounds like you kind of started small and then worked your way up into the APTA. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I like asking this question to everybody that I meet who's a physical therapist or a physical therapy assistant. So here it goes. Why does APTA membership matter to you?
For me personally, it all comes down to people and connections. That's why we became a PT or PTA in the first place, is that we genuinely care about people. But being a student, we have our own little city, our professors, our classmates. We are in this learning bubble. But when we graduate, that all disappears. You don't have your classmates every day. You have a couple of coworkers you see, but that learning is now on you, on all of us. But building that relationship and that network before you graduate, everything follows you. You have your CIs, you have the people you met at conferences, you have all the students you met across the country. If you want to travel and go somewhere, you have them. You have those learning resources across the country right at your fingertips. So to me, it's constant learning, constant communication, and constant growth, even past being a student. It really develops you as a whole professional to take care of the whole person. So it matters to me now, and it always will.
That was a beautiful answer. I love that. So inspiring. I agree. NSC was my first conference ever and my first NSC, and it was amazing networking with all of the students from all over our country, and then still just keeping up with everybody now on using social media. It's just wonderful. I'm a forever APTA member as well. Just want to make sure everybody who's watching right now, if you're asking questions on Twitter, to just use the hashtag XChangeSA, and we'll be able to follow the conversations on there. And be sure to meet new people while you're on here. It's a great way to meet and network other students with other students, and also with Kayla and I. So let's back it up just a little bit, Kayla. What is the Student Assembly?
That's a great question, and it's something I didn't really realize as a brand new student. But the Student Assembly is all of us. Every PT student, every PTA student, from first year to getting ready to graduate, all of us make up the Student Assembly, and that is 24,000 students across the country, I believe. which is absolutely incredible. But if you're a student, you are part of the student assembly right from the get-go.
That's wonderful. I didn't realize what that was either at first. So I always like to tell people that, hey, you're an APTA member, you're a student, you're in the student assembly. So we've got our student assembly, and then there's also a board of directors. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the board of directors are 10 members that are elected at each National Student Conclave. So Alexis and I are part of those 10, and we were just elected in October. And you get to run every July, or you submit your application, and then you get to run at National Student Conclave. And only the people at National Student Conclave can vote. But then we serve from NSC to NSC, so for a full year. And our job is to represent the student assembly to the best of our ability, help us reach our goals, initiatives, working on communication, working on connectivity, working on personal growth as students outside of the classroom. It's our job to make sure that all the students' voices are heard and that we bring what we want to APTA and help continue that membership from students into our professional lives. So that's our overall goal as a board. But the more fun part is we get to connect with students personally, Twitter, Facebook, at conferences, help build those connections, and really try to help the student population grow and get what they need.
That's exactly right. I know for the last few weeks and since October, it's just been phenomenal meeting all of these students from all over the country. Like I said, I mean, it's just so inspiring. There's so many of us incredible DPT PTA students who are just doing awesome things. So it's really neat to connect with everybody and just see where everyone's going. So you're the president of the student assembly and of the board of directors. So tell us a little bit about your role specifically, and what are some of your goals this year until your term ends at National Student Conclave next year?
That's a great question. And my job is really fun because I get to communicate and facilitate. So mainly for communication, I am the face essentially of our student assembly to the APTA, to our professionals, to our sections, to our chapters. I speak on behalf of all the student assembly to each of those bodies. So I speak at CSM, I speak at Next, and address what we need as students, what we want as students, and what the professionals need from us so that we can bridge that gap again. Also, I get to help facilitate the 9 other amazing board members on my team to helping them reach their goals, working with the loop, working with communication, helping nominate next year's team, working with our delegates to get things passed that we need at Next. And it is absolutely incredible to be a part of this team because everyone has such amazing ideas. Our orientation's in December, and I can't wait to see what comes from that. But I get to communicate and facilitate, and I get to help tie in students to all the amazing resources that we have available with the APTA on a national level, chapter, and section level. So that's in short what I do, and then I also read a lot of emails.
Yes, there are a lot of emails entailed with that, but it's so fun, so fun. So Josh Elam on Twitter asked, what time commitment does the APTA Student Assembly require of you? And how does that mesh with your school? Because we all know school is number one. We're here to become physical therapists, and that is at the end of the day, every single day, our goal. So how does that mesh with school as far as your time commitment goes?
That's a really good question. And that was something I took very seriously prior to applying for this position because I wanted to do both really well. I was doing well in school prior to applying, and I realized that applying for president would be a very large time commitment. It's one of the biggest of those on our board. Mainly because I attend all the conferences and days prior to the conference. So like CSM is 4 days and I'm there for almost 7 days. So it does take time away from school and away from clinicals, but it really takes a lot of time management. I had a lot of conversation with my professors and my clinical instructors to make sure that we could accommodate. So I still got all of my school done prior to even running. Day to day, I probably spend about 2 hours a night during the week working through emails and communicating with people, and about 3 to 4 hours on the weekend on a normal week. It varies a bit. We spend a little bit more time when we have things going like the exchange, or when Next is coming around, we'll be doing a lot with getting ready for that. So it ebbs and flows, but school is always first. And I make sure to sit down with my school schedule and make sure everything's planned out. I'm doing things ahead of time for school if I have something big coming up for the APTA, but school never suffers. And our fabulous advisors, Janine and Lisa, always remind us that this is supposed to be fun. This is a volunteer position, and this is supposed to be fun. And if we ever get to the point where it isn't, we're doing something wrong. So their advice is amazing. I have learned a lot about delegating and asking my board to help when I need it, and they are doing the same. So we have each other's back. We are very supportive, and we make sure we all keep school first and foremost. So it's very helpful.
Yes, those are really good tips. I think being proactive about everything within your week is key to success, and key to success with anything that you're doing, not just serving on the board of directors, serving as a liaison or as a project committee chair or member. Being proactive is the key to success in every realm.
On that same topic, if you were at NSC and got to see Sharon Dunn speak at the town hall, I think it was, she said, identify your crystal balls and your rubber balls. So crystal balls for me personally is school, family, my faith, and my exercise. All of those have to come first before anything else. Rubber is everything else that you can drop and pick back up again. But crystal, if you drop it, it shatters. So identifying those things that are really crystal in your life, pay attention to those, put them first, and the rubber you can always pick back up.
That is so good. I'm so glad you brought that up, and you actually reminded me of that about a week into our positions. You're like, okay, Alexis, identify those crystal balls. Don't let them drop. And that's such a good analogy to use. I love it. So let's see what another question is from Twitter. We've got James McAfee, and he actually asked this earlier today on Twitter. What are the main challenges facing the APTA Student Assembly this upcoming year? And also, what role can we as DPT and PTA students play in helping?
Some of the main challenges facing the whole Student Assembly or the board? Student Assembly?
Take it whichever direction you'd like.
Okay. Student Assembly in general, I'm going to go ahead and include the board in this. Last year, our board put together a strategic plan. So basically making sure that each board wasn't starting over every year, but that we were actually making progress year to year. So the strategic plan outlines where we can go as a board, as a student assembly for the next 3 years. Now that that's laid out and the groundwork is set, we get to actually put it into play, making sure that we're increasing our membership and that really we're increasing the value of APTA membership for students. That if it's not offering what it should for our students right now, we need to change it. The biggest thing is communication. We need to hear from all the PT students, all the PTA students, what's missing? What can we fix? How can we get involved? How can we change? How can we fix it on a state level? How can we fix it on a national level? What can you do to get involved? So making sure that we can make the strategic plan actually come into life and make it work for students and really improve student membership is where we're going this year. So that's our goal right now, but I'll elaborate more as we go forward. Unmute. Unmute, I can't hear you. Alexis, we can't hear you. Oh no, what's the next question? Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, so we have a list of stuff coming in from Twitter, so I'm just going to read another one until we get Alexis back. Okay, she's nodding. That's what we're going to do. So James, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Buenaventura. How How did you first, oh, sorry, we already did that one. I apologize.
Okay, my computer is
fabulous. Help me with this.
Okay, I don't know what just happened there. Sorry about that. My computer completely froze up. So let's talk about the project committees, because we all know that the project committees, or maybe not all of us know, the project committees for this upcoming year, 2016, the applications are live right now. So we've got room for several students to get involved as project committee members, chairs, or as liaisons. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, this is a phenomenal way to get involved. If you're ready to take on a leadership role, if you're ready to help plan something at a national level or be a liaison, there is room for everyone. Last year, I was a member of a committee, so I helped plan National Student Conclave along with about half of our current board. And it was an incredible experience because you really learn kind of what we were talking about earlier, how to plan, how to be on conference calls with people in different time zones, how to get things done with people you've never met. And it's an incredible experience to be able to have that communication and really accomplish something. So if you look on the website, I'm hoping we can get that link out to you on Twitter. You can look at all of the project committees that we have for the coming year and all of our liaison positions. There's 4 liaison positions and 8 committees, something like that. But they cover all the different areas that we've talked about or that fit in our strategic plan. So community service, global outreach, interprofessional collaboration, membership, National Student Conclave, networking and involvement, which is new this year, professional advocacy, and then we combined student special interest group and Loop Communication Network as one committee this year. So if you are interested in running a committee, the chair applications are live. You don't need any experience, and you can run if you are a third-year student. You can fill any of these positions, third-year PT student or a second-year PTA student. PTAs, I didn't forget about you. And you can be a liaison if you're getting ready to graduate as well. You just need to be a student at the time that you apply. So it's not too late.
That's right. And it's always great for first years to get involved as well. It's just perfect for everybody. If you're a student, it's great for you. You should do it. So the networking and involvement project committee is new this year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So this was an amazing idea from our previous board that all 10 of us on the board receive a lot of emails from very excited students who really want to get involved, but aren't really sure how to take that first step or even the next step for them. And as much as we really want to keep everyone involved, sometimes those emails just get lost, or those texts or those tweets or whatever you call it on Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm a little technically challenged. So we decided, and our previous board gave us this idea, that we need a committee just to help keep people involved and keep those new opportunities out to everyone. So we created the Networking and Involvement Committee. So what their job will be is every time we get a new student who's interested in getting involved, they'll head to that committee. That committee will find out what they're interested in. This is brand new, so we're still trying to work out how it's all going to go. But what they're interested in, what they want to do, how often they want to be involved, how much time they have, and figure out a good place for them. And if we don't have a place, they'll be in charge of making sure that we keep up with those students at least once a month to make sure, have you found something yet? Are you still looking? How can we get you involved? Because honestly, if you have that passion and you have that light to be here, we want you here. We want you to get involved. We want you to find a place, because membership, again, like Sharon Dunn said, it's an experience. Mm-hmm. It's not something you can just buy. It's something that you feel. It's something that really changes your heart. And we don't want anyone to lose that light or lose that passion because we don't have something right now. So this is the best job that we can do at the moment to make sure nobody gets dropped and everybody finds a true home for involvement, whether it's state, local, or national level. This committee will really help you get plugged in.
Great. Thank you to Robin Blanc and Elizabeth Nixon for asking questions about project committees on Twitter. If you have any questions, please tweet them out using the hashtag #ExchangeSA on Twitter, and we will try to get to all of the questions. So moving right along, Stephanie Ormache asks, what's the best way to start small to become more involved with the APTA and our student assembly? She's wanting to take that next step. Yay!
That is that's a very good question. Honestly, you already did. You're here. You're on the student exchange. You're asking questions, and you have the opportunity to network with everybody else who's on this exchange. You're here. You did it. If you're a member and you're connected right now, you've taken your first step. After that, it's really up to you. What I did for my first step was I actually, before the state conferences that I attended, I became our Kansas Physical Therapy Association and APTA liaison to our school. So it was my job to go check the websites and find out what information was new about the APTA and about Kansas and bring it back to my university. So I wasn't really accountable for doing anything. I could spend as much or as little time as I wanted, but it was really just my job to go figure out what was out there and bring it back to our students. And I found out I really liked what I found, and I really liked sharing the information. I think my classmates got a little, I sent quite a few emails, so I had to dwindle it down to one. But the more you look, the more you find, the more resources you get into, the more excited you get about it. So honestly, I would start there. Start looking, start sharing, start asking just like you are. Find your passion and run with it.
That is wonderful. I actually did the same thing, and that's exactly what got me involved as well, was just looking up that information, sending it out, and realizing there's a whole lot to offer. So thank you, Stephanie, for that question. I hope it answers it for you. And Caleb, Brian Duke on Twitter asked a similar question, and I think it's perfect timing to address it now. So it is finals week for a lot of DPT PTA students. So this is just a great question for the timing of it. Many students want to be involved, but already feel overwhelmed with school. What would you say to them?
That's a really good question, Brian. Thank you. And I think you are honestly a good person to answer this, Brian, since you did some amazing work getting, money to go to CSM, I believe, for all of your students. So you are a great resource, but finals week is crazy. Not a good time to look for new opportunities and involvement. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Wait till you're done and then start looking when your stress level is better. Because adding more stress and adding more things to those crystal balls is not going to help you keep them up. It really isn't. There's always a time to get involved, but when you're stressed is not the time. Find people in your class that are excited, doing things in your community, doing things at a state level. Contact us. We have ideas and options for you, but do it when you're ready. You have 2 years or 3 years during your school time, and it's exactly what you want it to be. If you are really overwhelmed with school, don't take on a national position right now. Start small and see what you can handle, because like we said before, school is the most important thing. It's why we're here in the first place. So make sure that and your crystal balls don't get dropped. And good luck on finals.
Yes, good luck to everybody. I finished my finals last week, and I'm feeling it for everybody who's doing it this week, because I was right there, but the end is near. Just keep pushing through. Thank you, Brian, for your question. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew St. John is asking, what is your biggest clinical pearl this far? I know you're on your clinical, I saw on Facebook. You're on your peds rotation. And so tell us, what's your biggest clinical pearl?
Well, thank you, Matt. Matt's actually one of my classmates, so shout out to you and your clinical as well. I hope it's going well. My biggest clinical pearl right now is to never underestimate the strength of determination in anyone. I'm working in pediatrics, and I have a 5-year-old right now with cerebral palsy, and he is absolutely incredible and a huge inspiration to me. His cognition is fully intact, but his speech is very slow, and so are his movements. But he completely understands that he is in control. And today he told me, I am the king of my muscles. They're not listening, but I'm the king. Yes, you are. And never forget that. So the determination of human willpower is unbelievable. Whether they're 6, whether they're an infant, or whether they're 86, it doesn't matter. Never underestimate the power of human will.
That is a beautiful clinical pearl. Thanks for asking that, Matthew. Jennifer Fath is asking, what do you think ultimately prevents students from getting involved?
That's a good question. I think part of it's time commitment, but I also think part of it's not knowing where to look and not knowing how to take that first step. Like some people have asked tonight, all of you that are here are engaged, you found where to look, or somebody told you about this exchange. We do want to get the word out, so please share. This is a great place to get those questions answered and to get those first steps. But honestly, I really think that it's a communication issue. Our APTA website isn't the best to find information quickly, and we're a busy generation. And the APTA realizes that. And that's one of our big goals this year, is to improve how we communicate with our student members, because we make up half of APTA membership as students, which is incredible. And we want to keep that membership as much as we can. But improving how we communicate, opportunities to get involved, the value of membership, I think will really change why students don't want to be involved currently.
That's a really good point. I was kind of thinking what my answer would be to Jennifer, and for me, I think a lot of times it's feeling inadequate, feeling like, oh well, I'm just a first year, or I don't have any of this experience, and so would be way better than me at that, and that prevented me at first from getting involved. But because I had some good mentors that pushed me right along, I'm here where I am today. So for any of you out there who are thinking that you're not good enough to do what we're doing, or to do any of these opportunities within the APTA, it's not true. Keep going, push through, and apply, and the growth opportunities are incredible.
Especially you being a first-year student on the board. An incredible step. So well, it is never too early to start.
That's so true. I did just finish my first year, so now I'm technically like a toddler, right? No, I think I'm still an infant in PT school. But anyway, okay, Josh asked another question. Josh Elam, on Twitter, have you found a successful method of getting fellow students signed up and involved in the APTA Student Assembly?
Good question, Josh. If you are trying to sell something, you can't start with the what. You have to start with the why. Simon Sinek does this whole book on it if you want to read more, but it has to hit home and it has to mean something. So if you really want your fellow students to get involved, ask them what they're passionate about. What makes sense to them? Why did they become a PT or PTA in the first place? And right from there, you'll have enough to say, hey, you love kids, this is how you get involved in the pediatric section. Really, you love advocacy, this is how you get involved advocating for our patients and our PTs and PT students, whatever. Find their passion, find their why, and then easily guide them into one of the many avenues that we have for the APTA. But it's not the same for everyone. And that's a good thing, because we need people in all areas. But always, always start with the why.
That's so good. You spoke about that at National Student Conclave whenever you were up there to be voted for as the president, and I think it excited a lot of people. So along those same lines, what excites you the most about today's state of the Student Assembly?
Honestly, the creativity. I was blown away at how creative our students are at National Student Conclave. Some of you have amazing ideas. People want to start podcasts. People already have started podcasts, events at their school. You guys did a zombie run to raise money. I mean, it's incredible what you can do if you follow your passion. I think I followed someone on Twitter who's using music with their physical therapy degree. I mean, the sky's the limit. And we're really in a spot right now where we can capitalize on that. We can use our other talents, whether it's in journalism or broadcasting or dance or music, and bring it into PT and make a difference, make something fun, make an avenue that we can communicate. So if we can really give a voice to all the creative students across the country to express themselves, to be confident that they can do it, not feeling inadequate by any means, and give you the tools and resources to really be successful. So I am super excited to see what we can do in the next year, and I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with.
Me too. I'm excited as well. Another question that comes up a lot, especially around this time with a new board kind of coming in, is how are my interests as a student being represented by the board, by the APTA, by several people? We are all represented by several. So how are they being represented?
That's a really good question too. We have 24,000 students to represent, so it's very difficult to represent everyone. But it's even harder if we don't hear from you. And since the 10 of us were elected to do our best to represent the whole student assembly, we want to hear from you. If things are working, let us know. If things aren't working, let us know. And we love hearing new ideas. All 10 people on this board are excited to see new things happen and run with them. So if you don't like things that are working, let us know and we can definitely fix them. But the way that we do it is right here. We can make it happen here on the exchange. We can take it to the APTA. We're working on some new things for next year that we're really excited to share with everyone that'll improve communication as much as we can to make sure that those interests really are heard, because our ideas are what make the APTA better and better every year. And students are the future of APTA. So we need to hear from you. We need to be able to represent your ideas, your beliefs, where you want to go, because without them, we can't grow.
That's right. We send out the pulse every month. And in my little introduction, I said, email me. And I was like adamant about it being in there 3 times, because I want everybody to feel like you guys can come to us, because it's true. We're just students too. And I actually did have 3 or 4 students email me and just had great conversations come from that. So please make our inboxes full. We love it. We love hearing from everybody.
We do.
We kind of talked about how everybody can get involved, and I just want to elaborate a little bit more. Some of our students are maybe saying, I'm a 3rd year. Isn't it too late to get involved with the student assembly? So what do you have to say to that 3rd year who's asking that?
It is never too late. You are a student until the day you graduate, and at that point you're a new professional. And our goal for this year is really to work on bridging the gap. We want you to go seamlessly from student to new professional all the way to experienced professional without missing a beat. We don't want it to be, oh, I'm a student, now I'm a professional and have to figure out how to survive in this brand new world. Not the point. Start networking now, start getting involved. Maybe you want to take on a role as a project committee chair, or maybe you just want to hang out with us on the exchanges. That's fine. But get in and start networking, because if you're not involved yet, this is really the key to being a successful practitioner, is the relationships that you make, the resources that you form with communication, and being able to know people across the country. So start now, start anywhere that feels comfortable for you, and start to bridge that gap from now as a student to a professional so that you have it, and grow and grow and grow.
That is wonderful. Moving right along, Ian McMurdy asks, how many DPT and PTA students are part of the student assembly? We talked about this a little bit earlier. I do have the answer to that for you, Ian. As of the end of October this past year, 10/31/2015, for student physical therapists, there are 23,329. And for student physical therapy assistants, we have 4,625. So those are the members. Those are all the students who are members of the APTA Student Assembly. And then the total students is quite a bit more than that. In the PTA realm, it's around 12,000. And then with student physical therapists, it's 29,000. So there's definitely room to grow with our membership in both DPT and PTA schools. And I hope that answers your question. Feel free to continue this conversation on Twitter. And I would love to chat with you if you've got any ideas about increasing the membership. I know Brian, our membership chair, would also like to talk to you about that as well. And it's a project committee. So you can move right along and get into that if you're interested, along with everybody else, of course.
I have one quick point to make on that.
Please.
Project committees. Last year, we had a student physical therapy assistant project committee. We got rid of it because we did not feel as a board that it made sense for PTAs to be off in their own little project committee doing PTA stuff. No, we are all part of the same team, PTs and PTAs alike. We want more PTA membership so that more PTAs' voices are heard, respected, and part of what we're doing as a student assembly. We all carry equal weight and we're all in this together. But like I said before, if you don't tell us, we can't improve. So we need PTs and PT students and PTA students together on these project committees, getting involved with task forces, getting involved at state and national levels. We need everyone. So we got rid of the PTA committee altogether because we want PTAs on every single PC that we have this year. So if you're a PTA and you're like, I don't know if I fit, you do. We want you. Please sign up or please apply. We want all hands on deck to make sure this works across the board.
That's right. Thank you so much for adding that in. That's wonderful. I cannot wait to see the collaboration between all of us this upcoming year. It's going to be great. Another great question that we've gotten is, I'm trying to get more of my friends involved with the APTA. What can I do? What can I tell them? I'll let you take that one because I feel like you've done a great job with that. So take the wheel.
So APTA is twofold. It's national, like National Student Conclave, but it's also partly state. So wherever your state is, if you can't get to a national conference, I highly recommend going to a state conference or going to a state student conference. So if your student organization or your student special interest groups have any events going on, start there. We have a Midwest student conclave we do every year between 4 states here in the Midwest. We have about 500-600 students that come, and it's incredible to start meeting students from other schools, hear speakers, hear professionals come in and talk about the real world, because you start realizing what's out there after PT school and PTA school. When you're a student for so long, all you're doing is, oh, I have more tests, I have more to study, I want to be out with people, I want to do good, I want to change lives, and right now, I don't want to study anymore. It's been 16 weeks, right? Take your friends, go get into an event, whether it's a PT pub night or any student events with other schools. Start making those connections and start forming those experiences. Because again, the experiences make all the difference. APTA membership in and of itself does not change your life. The relationships you make because of it are what change you as a professional, as a student, and changes you as a person.
That's right. That's wonderful. Another question, and we'll begin wrapping it up as I see that the conversations are kind of slowing down on Twitter. But we've got CSM coming up in February. So several DPT and PTA students are going to be there, and we get to meet up with them during our student meet and greet. So tell everybody why they should go. If you're on the fence about going to CSM, tell that student why they should come.
Okay, so this is probably your second best choice, since NSC would obviously be the first. But CSM is incredible because you get to meet all the sections. We are getting to the point in our career development where specializing is becoming more and more, not only popular, but more and more necessary. So if you're interested or trying to figure out what clinical site should I take, what do I want to do, where do I want to practice, there's 15 different areas I could go as a PT or PTA, I don't know how to choose. This is how you do it. This is how you meet people in that field that have been practicing pediatrics for 20 years or acute care for 20 years or wound care for 20 years. So you can go meet them, find out their resources, find out if you really want to be involved in that section, and most of all, again, start networking and find those mentors. Because when you start specializing, your small PT world gets even smaller. And when you say you're interested in peds, you get out on your clinical, you get out working, and you need that assistance, you need that mentor, you have those connections that you made, that you met, that you can figure out where to find the answer. So CSM is really where you want to go if you want to specialize. And also, on that note, if you're interested in getting involved in sections, if say that you became a member of the APTA in May, coming around next like March, each section is discounted per month, getting closer and closer to your renewal date in May. So in March, you can join a section for like $1. So join a bunch of them. Spend like $10 or $15. Join every section you can. Get on their email list, get their magazines, get all their resources, and see what really speaks to you. At CSM is where you really make it happen and get to know all the details. But being a section member, you get to keep that year in and year out and really start that mentoring process. Start looking for residencies if you want to do them, fellowships, and really start that specializing process. So it has the highest attendance of all the conferences. Everybody loves to go to CSM, so we hope we get to see you all there.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. And speaking of CSM, our next Exchange SA chat is January 6th, and that's with Amy Arundel. And several of you got to hear Amy speak at National Student Conclave, and it was absolutely phenomenal. She was talking about networking and just talking to people who you wouldn't really expect yourself to go up and talk to, much less take a selfie with. She challenged all of us at National Student Conclave to take a selfie with President Sharon Dunn. And that ended up being a really fun time. Made it super fun, and several of you saw your pictures on the Student Assembly Twitter page and Facebook page. But anyway, we are going to be talking with Amy with our next Exchange SA chat, and that's January 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So with that, I've got 2 more questions, and we will wrap it up. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. What kind of resources and advantages are available to me as a member of the Student Assembly?
Ooh, very good question. First of all, with conferences, you get discounted rates, so that's really nice. Resources and advantages. Alexis, feel free to chime in since I know you know the website a lot better than I do. Resources. Sorry. Go ahead.
I just think the first thing is the conferences. With National Student Conclave being my first one, I didn't really know exactly the value of it. I knew that it was expected for us to be members, but then I went to National Student Conclave. We got to meet all of those students, and it was phenomenal. I've already spoken about that several times. If you can't tell, I'm really excited about that. But also it's our ability to be able to fight for our profession as a member of the APTA. And so last month we did the flash action strategy, and it's just so exciting to see all of us come together and make a difference in our profession. So advantages of being a member of the Student Assembly, you get to be a part of something greater than yourself. Together, we do huge things.
I completely agree. And the experience, we can't talk enough about the experience, is really why you become a member. For the experience, for the networking, for being at conferences, but the little things that you get access to PT Now, which is all of our online journals and resources, which they're free right now since you're a student, but when you graduate, you no longer have free access to all those articles. So it's really helpful to have that through the APTA. So you can stay current on your research and continue to provide best practice and evidence-based practice. You also can't join a state chapter or a section without being an APTA member. So the APTA is our parent company. You pick your chapter, and then you can pick to join a section if you want to. The money that goes into the APTA, I know a lot of students say that it's too expensive, but really if you add it up, I think it's like, what, $80 a year, $90 a year as a student. And then if you do join as a student, you get what are called stair step dues after you graduate. So if you're already a student member when you graduate, I think you pay 20% of the professional rate your first year out, then 40, then 60, then 80, and then 100. So it takes 4 or 5 years for you to reach the full professional value. But you can only do that if you're a student member first. So graduating, you still get the discounted rates for conferences, you get the access to PT Now, you can be a state and chapter member at 20% of the cost as a new professional, which more than pays for your value just in the conferences alone, which also as we graduate, we have to do CEUs. So conferences are where you get your CEUs, it's where you mentor, it's where you network, and there's a lot of free CEUs offered on the APTA website. So now it's about networking. When you graduate, it's about being the best clinician that you can be, because you can't just live off of the information you have as a student. It's irrelevant after we graduate. Our CIs that have been practicing for 20 years look at me like, what are you learning in school? We never learned that. I just learned that at a conference last year. This is how we stay up to date with everything we're doing. So it's really, really, really important. Not only our professional duty, but this is how you stay on top of the curve and really be a good clinician.
Yeah, that's great. Gosh, you're getting me fired up about APTA membership. I love it. Okay, I want to sharpen my leadership skills. What are your secrets, President Kayla, to effective leadership? And we'll end with that question.
Okay. Always seek to understand first. Be a better listener than you are a speaker. And I believe I read in a book, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so make sure you're doing twice the amount of listening that you are speaking. You can learn a lot from someone by just letting them talk, and then you can lead them in the way that they need best. Everyone is different. Everyone needs a different amount of leadership and a different type of leadership. And if you go in with the same tactic for everything, you're going to miss the mark. And again, it's starting with why. Listen to their why, listen to where they're coming from, and help them find the answers that direction. And read a ton outside of school. I love audiobooks. I love everything John Maxwell writes, Simon Sinek. I can give you a whole book list if you want it, but
we should do that. Twitter project. Let's talk about books that we love.
And I'm not suggesting going and buying all the audiobooks. Go to your local library. A lot of them have apps for you to download free podcasts, audiobooks. I can set it up where it comes straight to my phone, and I just listen to it on my 30-minute drive to school every day, or my hour drive to my clinical right now. And do it while you run, do it while you work in the yard, or if you have yards, I don't know, I do. But take in as much of that non-school leadership and resource information as you can, and it makes you a better person, more humble, more ready to listen, and that's what makes you a better leader.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for joining in for our December Exchange SA chat. Hope everybody got to learn a little bit more about our president, Kayla, and also about how you can get involved in the student assembly, be it nationally or at the local level in your small hometown. Whatever it is, there's a place for you if you're ready to get involved. So be sure to tune in next time on the January Exchange chat with Amy Arundale, and that's January 6th. And we are just so excited to talk to everybody on Twitter along with the board. So with that said, thank you very much. Kayla, thank you for joining us tonight, and see you on Twitter and Facebook, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.